Yeah, so what's up, guys? My name is Baraka the Kid. I am a producer, singer, songwriter, rapper, you name it. So if it's possible, I'll do it. So there's a lot to my name, but yeah, that's me.
So you tell me about it, like going from working your own to working with Joelistics,
Yeah,
and what it was with Joel, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
just yeah.
and what the process was like, what you enjoyed, and so on.
Yep. I think it was definitely different. Because I think when you work when you work by yourself for a long time, where you're constantly writing music, you're producing, you're doing all the mixing and stuff. Well, you pretty much you're hands on everything, like the marketing side of things, everything. So I think just GRID Series itself was totally different for me as an artist. Um, Coming from where I was coming from into where GRID Series was kind of taking things, I was like, damn, okay. So this is kind of them saying you're the artist, you just write, you work on the music, we just handle the rest of the stuff. It was definitely different working with Jolistic. I think the first day we got into the studio, like normally I'll get into the studio and then I'll either put a beat on and we start kind of I'll start writing straight away. But with him, it was like the first day we just talked. The entire first session was just like a get to know each other. We just kind of we met each other, we talked, we laughed. I had one of my other friend that pull up as well. He's also a producer. We just kind of connected on that more deeper level, like what our culture differences are, what it was like for him growing up. I'm here, what it was like for me coming here and then having to adapt over here. So just that was different for me because working on yourself by yourself, you kind of just get in the studio and you start working straight away. But working with Jolistic, it was like I could actually sit back and just become the artist for once, rather than be the person behind the artist and then the producer and then the mixer. I just had to wear that one hat where I was just the artist in the room, and then he was pretty much the person who like do this and do that, and maybe let's try this and let's try that. So it was definitely different. It makes you see things at a different lens, because I think that when you've got someone else kind of guiding you, like of course you also mention some of your ideas as well, but at the same time, like when you're being guided, you kind of want to let the person who's guiding you guide. You don't want to try to put too much, because you can also input as an artist when you're being guided, but at the same time you have to understand that that person has a certain kind of vision that they're seeing, and if you try to input too much, it might change that vision. So I think working with Jolistic for me was like, like, I can see that he's got a vision in his mind of what he wants the track to be, and what he wants the track to resemble. And the messages were very connected with what I wanted and what he wanted. But my vision was, I would say, my vision was a bit more on that inexperienced level, and then his vision was a bit more on that very experienced level. So I was like, you know what, let me sit back and let me take on what he's giving and add it onto the track, and then we go from there. Because originally the entire track was going to be in English, but then he goes like, no, 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 no. Remember what we did on the first day when you're doing all that things in Swahili, etc.? Let's try that. And I was like, you're crazy. There's no way I'm doing that. Like, it's not happening. So I was totally against it. Like having that track in multiple languages, I was against it. But then he goes like, no, no, no. There's a vision I'm seeing. You have to do a part of this track in your language, and you gotta do the whole back and forth, English and Swahili. Because if you don't do it, then it's not gonna be what I'm saying. So you have to add it in there. And I think it was good because he actually convinced me, and now I actually put some of that into my own music as well. I kind of bring that along, and I'm like, you know what, this track can actually use a bit of this in my own language and put that in there. Before, my vision was always, if I make a song, it's always in English. But after having Jolie in the studio with his guidance, I was able to go like, you know what, I can actually implement my own language into the track, which also adds my own culture and religion to that track as well. So now it was definitely, yeah, that's some of the things that I got from working with him as well.
Mm, that's really cool.